The Boy Who Refused to Give Up, a life-changing story. Success is not about luck, it's about resilience. This is the story of a boy named Daniel who faced hunger, betrayal, and heartbreak, but he never gave up. His journey will make you believe that no matter how dark life gets, there is always a way to rise again. Daniel was born into crushing poverty. His father walked out when he was just 6 years old, leaving his mother to struggle alone with him and his little sister. Their home was nothing more than a tiny, crumbling room where rain leaked through the ceiling at night. Food was a luxury. Some days, they went to sleep on empty stomachs. But no matter how hard life was, Daniel had a dream. He wanted to build a better future for his family. But life had different plans. When Daniel was 12, his mother fell seriously ill. There was no money for treatment. Each day, she grew weaker, and Daniel could do nothing but watch. He was just a child, but he knew if he didn't act, he would lose her. So he made a decision. He dropped out of school and started working as a restaurant cleaner. Every day, he scrubbed floors, wiped tables, and took out the trash. Customers barely noticed him, but he listened to their conversations about business, success, and money. He wanted to learn. He wanted to escape the life he was trapped in. One night, after a long shift, he sat outside his house, staring at the stars, whispering to himself, "I will change my life, no matter what it takes." By the time Daniel turned 16, he had saved a small amount of money, just enough to start something of his own. He and a childhood friend decided to open a tiny street food stall. It was small, but it was his. Every morning, they woke up before sunrise to prepare food, and by noon, customers started coming in. For the first time in his life, Daniel felt hope. He saw a future. But life wasn't done testing him yet. One day, he arrived at the stall only to find it empty. Everything, his money, his supplies, his dreams, was gone. His best friend had stolen everything and disappeared. Daniel's heart sank. He sat on the sidewalk, staring at the broken pieces of his business. People laughed at him. "You were stupid to trust someone," they said. "You'll never succeed." For a moment, he believed them. Tears rolled down his face as he clenched his fists. He could walk away, give up, accept his fate. But then he heard his mother's weak voice in his mind. "Never let the world break you, my son." Daniel wiped his tears and whispered, "No, this is not the end." Instead of giving up, he worked harder. He found a job washing cars during the day and spent his nights learning. He read old business books he found in the trash. He watched videos on an old phone, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. He had no mentor, no teacher, only his determination. A year later, he had saved enough to start again, this time alone. He bought a small pushcart and started selling homemade sandwiches. Every morning, he woke up at 4 a.m. to prepare. People still mocked him, but he ignored them. Then, one day, everything changed. A businessman noticed Daniel's dedication. "If you improve your food quality and create a brand," he said, "you will attract more customers." Daniel listened. He made better sandwiches, kept everything clean, and greeted every customer with a smile. Word started to spread. People came back. One customer turned into 10. 10 turned into 100. Within 2 years, Daniel's small cart turned into a full food stand. Then, a small shop. Then, multiple locations. By the time he turned 25, Daniel was no longer the poor boy struggling to survive. He was the owner of a successful restaurant chain. The same people who once laughed at him now looked up to him. His story was in newspapers, his name spoken with admiration. But Daniel never forgot his past. He built a foundation to help struggling kids like he once was, so they wouldn't have to suffer the way he did. He made sure they had food, education, and most importantly, hope. Daniel's story proves one thing: your failures do not define you. Your determination does. If he had given up after being betrayed, if he had listened to those who mocked him, if he had let failure break him, he would have remained just another forgotten boy. But he didn't. He fought. He never gave up. And if Daniel can do it, so can you.